All right guys, today on this crisp morning, we're gonna talk about bedrolls. The budget option I'll touch on, and then I'm gonna touch on this Born Outdoors Badger bed. They haven't paid me to do this review or anything like that. Over the 9 personal and guided hunts that I did this fall, on 7 of them, I heavily used this option. Any of these hunts where you can take a bedroll in, I highly recommend it. You're gonna get way better sleep, you're gonna have a more enjoyable time, and you're gonna hunt more effective because you're gonna be getting a better night's sleep. Any hunt that has trying physical conditions, right, or psychological conditions, tough weather, hard game to find, long days, physically enduring hunts, you want to make sure you sleep well. Sleep is a way underrated thing on these type of hunts, and I'm saying that after dealing with hundreds of hunters in the field. If you don't sleep well, you're not going to be as mentally tough as you otherwise would be. You have enough challenges on those hunts. You don't want to add sleep deprivation to those situations. The longevity of the hunt and your effectiveness as a hunter goes way down if you're not sleeping well. And I can tell you for a fact, it doesn't matter if you're going with this budget option or you've got one of these commercially available options. If you're sleeping in a comfortable rectangular sleeping bag, on a sleeping pad, maybe with some sheets or quilts, you're gonna sleep a whole lot better than if you're trying to tough it out in a mummy bag. That's a fact, and I have the data set to prove that. The value option here, just the classic cowboy bedroll I've got here. I've got a whole video on it. I'll stick a link up here. You can go check it out. It shows you how to make one of these. So in this video, I'll focus on the commercial option here, this Badger bed, the different details of this type of sleeping system. All right, so in this bedroll, you've got basically compression straps here, and you can just undo these. Unlike your classic bedroll, this isn't a canvas. It's more a synthetic fiber. And in my view, it's a little more durable. Maybe not more durable, but it's lighter per unit of durability, let's call that, right? I've actually got a little sheet here that comes with the bedroll if you order it as an option. If the weather's good, hypothetically, you can use bedrolls without a tent. I do it quite often, but I don't depend on either my classic cowboy bedroll or this Badger bed to help me with rain or moisture, right? I'm only using it in good weather. This material is a little weather resistant, is a little moisture resistant, but these are not bivy bags that are gonna keep you dry through a wet night, so just keep that in mind. You know, summer camping, summer scouting, early September scouting or hunting where you know you're not gonna have any moisture, yeah, you could get away with this, and it's kind of nice to sleep under the stars. But anyways, you unroll it like that, and you've got everything already set up, right? There's some nice aspects here, like this is, again, a little spot where you can put stuff, which is nice. It's all zipped up here, and there's 2 ways you can deal with this, right? You can completely unzip it and just take this off and have it out of your way. Or what I found, and this is just how I use the canvas on my cowboy bedroll, is I'll actually keep it zipped on one side, and then that gives me another spot where I can put gear, right? Or if I've got this up on a cot, that goes on the outside of my cot there on the ground. And the nice thing about that is in any of these camps, if you've been in a big elk camp, people tend to put gear and they sit on the cots, right? So if this isn't a wall tent, that's gonna be hanging, you know, off the side of the cot and kind of just be sitting there on the ground. You can tuck it under the cot if you want, but when you're done sleeping and you're not using your bed, you can take that cover on the cowboy version, the canvas, you can throw it over. On this Badger bed version, you can just throw this over. Then you don't feel weird about throwing your pack on here, throwing any gear on here, because all the dirt and twigs and crap on it, it's not gonna end up in your sheets. And then also if anybody wants to sit on the bed, right, while you're just bullshitting in camp, they don't have to feel awkward about sitting on somebody's pillow or sitting on your pillow or sitting on your sheets, right? All right, so now we get into the actual sheets and the layering system of the bedroll. So the sheets and the quilts that I use, they're just gonna vary on the temperatures that I'm gonna face. Generally what I do is, like these quilts right here, you can see them, they're light and they're not very bulky. So when you get into wool blankets, heavy rectangular sleeping bags that are really low degree rated, they're gonna be thick and bulky. And when you roll these bedrolls, that can be problematic. They're gonna make the bedroll not necessarily way heavier, but more bulky. And that is one huge advantage in terms of convenience that I've found with this commercial option is, one, I don't have to take all the quilts, but even once I'm in the field, I can take more quilts because they're just generally less bulky, and then I can decide later on, depending on the temperatures, if I need them or not, right? There's these nice buttons on the side of the quilt where you can snap them together, and then once they're snapped together, they move around as a single blanket, and that's gonna allow you to sleep way better. So that's a great option there. My actual sheet for the air mattress is in the dryer right now, but you can put a nice fitted sheet on your air mattress and have it set up. I always have a pillow in here. I prefer one of these dense pillows, these foam pillows, because again, I can compress it, and then when I uncompress it out of the bedroll, it still holds up a lot better than just a cheapo Charlie pillow. So that's up to you. I prefer a nice memory foam pillow, but that's the setup there. Usually a sheet on this, a couple quilts. You can throw in a flannel blanket or something like that against your skin. I do find that in warmer weather hunts, early September, if I have a flannel sheet, I'm gonna sleep better against it versus this synthetic material. And anybody who's spent a lot of time in mummy sleeping bags on backpack hunts, you're gonna notice that, particularly once you get sweaty and dirty after hunting for a few days and you don't have shower availability, you're gonna feel a lot more comfortable sleeping against flannel. It's really easy in this type of setup just to add a nice flannel sheet in there so you're more comfortable and you sleep better. The next part of the system is the air mattress. These Badger beds, they come with these awesome Thermarest mattresses. Modocking 3D, I think is the model. Mondocking 3D, I don't know, but this is a great mattress right here. And you could put this in a value option bed, no problem. But the Badger bed is built in a way that you can secure it down, and that keeps it centered up in the bed. And that's a huge help, I found, particularly on a cot, right? Where the mattress wants to kind of slip one way or the other. Just having it centered in the middle of the bedroll does help. So another key thing that I found is to add one of these little pumps. And these things are awesome. You know, I think they just come out of China for the most part, but they're a little USB charged pump. I usually air it up so the mattress is pretty darn stiff. It's harder than a mattress I'd like to sleep on. And then when I get in to the bedroll the first night, I can just let a little air out until it gets to where I want it to be. But having this pump is massive, and this is, again, an easy thing to pack in. So that's pretty much the bedroll setup. The advantages here are really clear, right? You've got that rectangular shape, particularly on a cot. This is like sleeping at home, but you've got the ability to have a good pillow, good air mattress, a better layering system, far superior than just a mummy bag or a single sleeping bag. And again, you can have that both in this option or the Cowboy bedroll, but in the Cowboy bedroll, you're gonna have to figure it out yourself. And some of the little convenience things, like being able to button the quilts together, that sort of thing, they're harder in your classic Cowboy bedroll. But these layers here are a key component. Having the mattress locked in is a key component. Having just a nice cover for the whole setup is key also. I'll show you here how to roll this up. One of the key things on these bedrolls is you want to have the valves on your air mattress on this end of the bedroll. So when you roll it up, you can push all that air out and you can compress the bedroll where it's small. Because that's where you run into issues with bedrolls. It's generally not the weight, it's more the bulk and getting them really rolled up nice and tidy. Tuck my quilts in, open my exhaust valve on my air mattress, straighten everything out, zip everything up, throw my little mat in here. Convenient thing that I found Badger did a great job on. This bottom mat of the bedroll, it is more water resistant. It's just a thicker material, and it's actually much easier to knock crap off of, right? And even moisture, I can knock the moisture off as I roll it up. The canvas is much harder to clean. It does seem to retain the moisture more, and I'm always nervous about getting mildew into my gear. On canvas, I'll generally take it home and then open it up. On this bedroll here, I've left it for weeks after I've rolled it up just because I can get rid of all that gunk and moisture as I roll it up. This part of the system here is really where this Badger bed shines compared to a classic Cowboy bedroll, and it's just got a cool compression system here. You just snap these in little hooks. Once you have all three of them done, then you can cinch these down. That's where I think this type of bedroll really shines compared to the classical budget versions that I show in my other videos. If you're doing a lot of hunting, you're out in the outdoors a whole lot, it matters. It's not, you know, you're saving 10 to 15 minutes every time you put it away. This is a great option just for that reason, if you're willing to spend the money. But like I said, if you want the budget option that has a lot of that same utility that I mentioned, just consider those different things that I discussed in this video when you build up your budget option. Again, check out that video right here. If you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and like it and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later.